Hi there. Living in the street is a rather dangerous thing. There are a lot of chances to have troubles or even to lose life, especially for animals. But sometimes people adopt them, changing their lives forever. Here are several cases that are sure to make you feel touched. All the rescues in this video are real and are the demonstration of kindness and compassion. A couple was coming back from yoga when they noticed there was someone in their truck. A little pit bull had jumped into the car and refused to leave it. They did everything they could, giving him food, water, and some treats, but the boy didn't want to get out of the truck. No one knew how this poor guy got into the street, but he obviously missed people very much. They could do nothing but leave him there, taking care of him. One day, the pup risked to get into the house, and the family was really happy about it. They spent several happy days together until a few weeks later, he ran off into the woods and they couldn't find him. The guys were really upset and tried to find their adopted dog. They placed an ad in the paper, searched into the nearest shelters, and luckily found their buddy in one of them.
Buddy! Buddy! Buddy!
Now all of them live happily together.
Look at you two! You guys are so cute!
The rescuers from the Penguin YouTube channel got a call from an old man that informed them about a paralyzed puppy seen near an abandoned house. Of course, they hurried to that place. The poor creature turned out to be abandoned and had no chances to survive. The rescuers immediately took the pup to the vet to take an x-ray. Luckily, there was no fracture and the leg still felt. The people were eager to help and gave the little thing a lot of care and love to help him recover. Step by step, the puppy was learning how to walk. The rescuers spent days doing a lot of exercises with the pup and massaging him. They all have much work to do, but the boy obviously feels a lot better. Hermione from the DAR Animal Rescue got a call about a stray dog probably hit by a car. She and her team found the little thing and carefully transported her to a vet. She was very scared and shivering. The vets had to put the dog in sedation and do a great number of tests, and the results of the x-ray were shocking. The poor pup had been shot. She had been in a terrible situation long before. The vet did all necessary medication, and sometime later, Hermione took the dog to the village where the dog had lived. There was a lady that was gonna foster the little creature, so the pup doesn't have to live in the street anymore. The SOS Pet team in Vietnam received a text from a friend. He said he had heard the sound of puppies in an abandoned house. In the evening, they rushed to that place and saw the tiny puppy hiding in a dusty corner of the house. The poor dog was very weak. He was very hungry and thirsty. Of course, they brought food there, and the pup flew himself on it. The poor puppy was so dirty, but on coming home, he refused to eat and drink. There were many ticks on his fur, so the rescuers washed him carefully and sprayed for ticks. At last, he decided to eat and drink, and all the people breathed a sigh of relief. Now he lives among other pups, having fun with them and waiting for his future adoption. The three-legged mother had been surviving with 2 pellets in her body until the team from Love Furry Friends Rescue Channel found her. They arrived at an abandoned commercial zone and decided to take her with her puppies out of there. But before, they fed the family and gave them some food. But the rescuers came across some difficulties with catching the mom, so they called animal control to help them. While waiting for the specialists, the girls loaded puppies into the car. Even animal control couldn't catch the mom because she was too scared and was fighting back. At last, they managed to do it, but hurried to the vet as something was really wrong. When the vet was sterilizing the poor mom, they found 2 pellets in her back. All the people were shocked, but the pups were okay, and the rescuers started the search for a family for them. Soon they'll have it. Here is one more case from Love Furry Friends Rescue Channel. This time, the team was called about newborn puppies left without their mother in the street. No one knew what had happened to their mom, but they had been alone for some time. The woman that was taking care of the babies had made a small house for them, but the newborn puppies couldn't survive in such conditions. They should be fed every 2 to 3 hours and should be kept warm. There were 12 puppies, 8 boys and 4 girls. Taking them from the street, the team found a woman that agreed to bottle feed the babies until they can eat by themselves. In a week, the team visited the puppies and found that they had already opened their eyes. Sorry to say, only 9 puppies survived, but they were very active and cute. 5 weeks later, the pups grew up, were treated against parasites, and vaccinated. Now they're ready to be adopted. One more case from the DAR Animal Rescue. At this time, Hermione was called by the people of the village that told her about the puppies that had lost their mom in a car accident. They lived in a warehouse and were very scared and lonely. Hermione arrived at the place, gathered them all, and that was a real challenge. She drove to the shelter, where the babies would have their temporary home until they were adopted. But before that, they went to the vet and went through all the necessary procedures. Now they're ready to find a family. The ULZZSW Cutie channel from China tells us the story about a puppy who was found on the street. The poor creature was biting a cigarette, shivering from the cold. The team took the puppy home and found that his tail was hurt. But the problem wasn't too serious, and the people did their best to help the baby. If he had stayed in the street, he would not have survived. Cruel people left this poor baby in a small box in a kiosk 15 miles from the city. The dog was small, malnourished, sick, with only skin and bones. He couldn't even get up. The people from the Penguin Project arrived and hurried to take him out of this terrible place. By the way, we should all apologize to him, feeling that humans have hurt them this badly. They called him Noah. The poor creature was extremely hungry, but the rescuers could give him only small portions. Of course, the rescuers brought him to the vet. In spite of such an awful condition, there was nothing seriously wrong with him, except the broken heart, of course. The boy would need all the possible love and care to recover, and the rescuers would give it all to him. Sometimes the subscribers help the rescuers to save others' lives. The girls from the Love Furry Friends Rescue channel got the information from their subscriber about 2 puppies dumped near the farm. On arriving to that place, the girls found the pups hiding under the car from the heat. The poor creatures were itching non-stop, as there were a lot of ticks and fleas on them. The rescuers gave them some water, but one of the pups didn't want to share and took the bowl far from his siblings. Of course, people living nearby gave them food, but this life was extremely dangerous for the little ones. The girls took the puppies to the vet, where they didn't want to show any trust to people. It took them time to relax a bit and to behave like normal pups do. The girls called them Alba and Dora. Washed and properly fed, the pups looked very relaxed. Now their photos are on Instagram, and the pups are waiting for their future home. This cute puppy is female. She's about 30 days old and weighs 3 pounds. The DAR Animal Rescue team is sure that she was taken from her mother thrown at that place. The man that called to the rescuers had seen her near his fence. It was impossible to get to her, so Hermione had to get over to it, and she managed to catch the baby. He was so unbearably cute that she couldn't help cuddling him. Of course, Hermione brought him to the vet, where all the doctors' hearts melted watching his cuteness. The pup turned out to be okay. The vet, having done all the necessary stuff, let the cutest boy go home. The boy was very little, so the rescuers were gonna take care of him until the start to look for adoption. Julia Modis takes care of animals too. She told us a story about Charlie, a paralyzed kitten with extremely strong will. No one knows who he had his trauma, but he really did. He had fleas, was terribly underweight, and completely starving. Julia found this cute creature, and luckily Maria Gachel, another woman who takes care of animals, decided to foster Charlie. Of course, they brought him to the hospital, where he got a surgery. After that, Charlie started physical therapy. The most impressive thing was practicing all the time. He was also having fun playing a lot, and he felt better and better every day. On the 30th day, he could already walk by himself. Charlie was very curious and was trying to get everywhere he wanted to. A bit later, he started to jump. He made great progress, and an amazing transformation happened. Maria did all her best to support him in this difficult work. The guys from Fur Story, Pet Stories, were walking in the forest when they saw a lonely kitten there. The place was far from people's dwellings, and nobody knew how this little creature could get there. The girl put him inside her coat to warm him up and carefully brought him home. First, the kitten was very frightened, but later, curiosity made him investigate the place around him. He was very hungry and obviously needed lots of love and care. He's sure to be okay now with his new family.
Oh, hi!
here.
The Hope for Paws team got a text about abandoned kittens on the patio. When they saw these kittens, they realized that the poor things hadn't eaten for a few days, and they were taken to the office to fill their bellies up and take good care of them. One of the babies was very weak and dehydrated, and the rescuers were very worried about it. After having a meal, they all had a medical check and a warm bubble bath. The rescuers also gave them names: Kebab, Blue Rhino, Sparks, and Coleman. They stayed with their rescuers to wait for their forever family, and they will get it.